it up somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, believe me, trust me, really, really believe me. I do humbly apologize for our real late start tonight. And that was entirely beyond my control. And I'm awfully sorry. And I trust I can make it up for you tonight. But my Straight Dog family, it's long past the time. It is long past the time when I should have already said good night to the world. Good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and to the entire Caribbean region, and in particular to my Straight Dog family in the Kittitian and Nevisan diaspora. I say greetings to all who are logged on to our social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook, and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And I am at liberty to say good night. I am at liberty to say good morning, and certainly I can say good afternoon, because somewhere in the diaspora, whether in Asia, Europe, Africa, and I am sure all over North America, you are logged on. To those in Europe, I know you've been waiting up. It's early in the morning, and I do humbly apologize. But I want to welcome, in particular, my first timers, I call them, and to thank all for sharing our link. Because of the links you share, and please continue to do so, we do have our first timers. And my Straight Dog family, we as well want to inform our first timers that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express ourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to also raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you on this occasion, my Straight Talk family. I always like to remind you as my host, and that I continue to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded of the words each time I come to this forum I'm reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine. And an excerpt goes like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, we speak the truth. Nothing is watered down on this program. It doesn't have to be interesting. Now, we don't try to make it more interesting, I should say, neither by omission or exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement. Nothing tall go like that. Especially creating excitement at the expense of accuracy or the truth. Because we lean on the facts, as I consider it my duty to always present the plain truth. You'll hear me say the unvarnished truth, especially when it comes to governance in my country, or our country, I should say, of St. Kitts and Nevis. So through this program, we are joined together all across the diaspora, all around the world, and certainly all across our federation. Some of you we have met, others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Some of us will agree with the positions we advance here, the positions of truth, and some will disagree. And that's fine. We promote diversity at all times. But please, do not sadden me, my Straight Talk family. It would sadden me whenever we start to become disagreeable. So let us thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And that's all we're talking about, my Straight Talk family, unity. Because unity is strength. So let's just hope and pray for the day when we all sing His praise together. So my Straight Talk family, welcome once again. For the first timers, I must inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and we include your emails. And for those who are so minded calling, the numbers are 663-6672. They are on your screen. Or 646-829-6672. There are those who like the cloak of anonymity, I normally call it. So we give you access via our email platform. Please, let us ensure that we do not start going down that road of libel. Not because you're behind your keyboard, you believe you can write anything. I won't read anything, I can assure you. But a special welcome, of course, to my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. I cannot omit them, never. I'll get myself in trouble with Dwayne, with Tristan. Hope you reminded your mom tonight, Tristan, it's Monday. Shema, Kevin Hanley over there in Nevis. Hope you're doing well at school, at the Charlestown Secondary School. Tell your friends about Straight Talk and you all have a chat, and then you can contact me, Kevin. Rucosta over there in Carolina. Yes, young Jamal in Anguilla. Travis and Travana, they're in Ponds Extension. And that special lady in St. Louis, getting close to that time when we will introduce that special lady to Straight Talk. You'll see her, meet her, and have a good discussion with her. I'll tell you what the discussion will be about. My Straight Talk family, I saw a tribute, and that had me a little concerned today. I saw a tribute for my schoolmate, Alfonso Bridges water, and it had me a little concerned for a moment, but I had to make a call or two. But so I wanted to extend greetings to Bridges, sports icon, exemplary public servant, who epitomized at all times the words of the good book, "He that humbled himself shall be exalted." And the name Bridges, as we knew him, I believe, was synonymous to humility. Therefore, Bridges, we understand, is having some difficulty, physical difficulties, and we trust and hope he will move to recovery from his illness. And my Straight Talk family, I also wanted to send belated birthday greetings to Reverend Umgunela and her twin brother Cecil Hamilton, who celebrated 69 years on the weekend. Cecil, upside down, boy. But yesterday, there was a special celebration for Sister Umgunela, who celebrated 40 years in the ministry. So 40 years of those 69 years, and she claimed it's more, in the ministry, spreading the word all across Africa. Across Africa, I should say, and throughout the Caribbean as well. And it was good to see Sister Adeline getting her flowers while she is living. And Sister Binta, as she's called as well, pretty lady, isn't she? She is so unique, her unique style of preaching, no doubt mixed with her Kittitian and Tanzanian tongue, always captures me. And she is definitely one of my many Moravian favorite pastors. And all I can wish Sister Binta, Reverend Adeline Umgunela, I can wish her success. I can wish her 40 more years. Well, how many ever more years you want. I wish her success in her future endeavors. My favorite, or one of my favorite Moravian pastors, who's been toiling in the vineyard, I think she said from since she was 17, or gave her first sermon at 15 years old. Wow. Isn't that sustainability, if that's the right term I'm looking for? My Straight Talk family. But congratulations, Sister Binta. And again, we wish you many, many more years celebrating in Almighty. Now, we normally have as well our observations in review, after which I would present a dissertation or short thesis. And the title of my thesis tonight is Snake-Brantley and July Glorify Fraud. But our observations are an integral part of Straight Talk, and after which, as I said, I will move into my thesis. And following my thesis, I will then include your calls and your emails, as mentioned earlier, so as to allow full participation in the program, because there's no Straight Talk without you, my family. And it's a time when we highlight the current issues and we do some reflection. We may then ask a few questions, such as what was accomplished, how has it helped us, and how has it helped others, as a matter of fact. What has changed since, and what can be expected next, and what new we have learned as a people. Because on Straight Talk, we want to see this as a learning process. Each one will teach one. And my first observation, my Straight Dog family, on a sad note, because a few weeks ago, our new National Security Advisor, Lionel Wusi Rollins, my former bandmate of Elimat and the Jay's brass fame, good saxman, don't know if he can still blow, Wusi. But Wusi expressed an opinion with respect to the terrible crime situation in St. Kitts and Nevis. And he warned us in the process that the Federation would experience at least one murder per month. Well, he has caused quite a lot of stir with that comment, my Straight Dog family. But Wusi had this to say, so we can provide you the evidence.
If we had one murder a month for 2024, as terrible as it sounds, we will only have 12.
Well, Wusi Rollins was spot on for the month of January. And thus far, he is accurate for the month of February. As according to a spokesman from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, at about 2:30 p.m., high day yesterday, one 24-year-old Jimmy Allen of Upper College Street, Basseterre, was reportedly gunned down, received multiple gunshot wounds, and succumbed to his injuries. Well, remember, we came out from a high of 31 murders under Terence Drew in 2023. And all told, 39 murders since Terence Drew has assumed the responsibility for national security in this country and as Prime Minister. But my Straight Talk family, we can only pray that the National Security Advisor, Lionel Wusi Rollins, is wrong with his predictions. Because even one murder, my good friend Wusi, one murder per month is one too many. And for my second observation, my Straight Dog family, someone from Nevis called me and inquired as to why Straight Talk has not reported much about Nevis in recent times. The question took me by surprise, but it was not deliberate. But at times you have to stay across the narrows or from across the narrows, just listen carefully and observe. But I promise to provide an update on the capital projects tonight, like water, the Alexandra Hospital, also geothermal development in Nevis. But truth be told, my Straight Dog family, nothing is going on in Nevis. Nothing a go on, as we say in colloquial parlance, nothing a go on across the narrows. Just like here in St. Kitts, nothing a go on. I warn my friend from Nevis as well, and I will warn you, my Straight Dog family, that the 50th anniversary of Culturama comes up in August. But please, Divisions in particular, do not lose sight of the realities on the ground. There will be plenty of music, jamming, food, and rum that will be provided. But remember that it is heading now for 7 years since Snake-Brantley promised to put more water into the system, more potable water, I should say, into the system in Nevis. He told you over there in Nevis that Bede was paid $2 million. But Nevis did not get the water, neither did it get back the people's money from Bede. And this is exactly what the Snake-Brantley had to say about the water.
As I indicated publicly before, we had made a commitment to have an additional 3 wells done at a global cost of 10 million EC dollars back in 2017. In fact, it was in August of 2017 that we paid to a company called Bede just over 2 million EC dollars as a down payment. Bede has never come to do the work for the government. And so we don't have our $2 million and we don't have any wells. We have decided to take legal action against Bede. That is ongoing. So it has not been for want of trying in relation to water.
So yes, my Straight Dog family, the Snake-Brantley also promised an extension to the Alexandria Hospital. And that construction has been going on for the last 7 years as well. Yes, 7 long years. On one occasion, the Snake reported that there was no cost overrun. He said there was no cost overrun, and in fact said this.
The hospital has been delayed, as we know. And the delay for me is unacceptable, and I'm not going to resign from that. I think that our cabinet colleagues will say that it is a matter that occupies our time each week, because I'm always asking for updates. I also want to make the point that we had budgeted $20 million for that project. We, based on the last tally that we had spent just about 17, give or take, $million. As I am standing here speaking to you today, we have not yet exhausted the amount that we had budgeted for that project. So it would be incorrect for anybody to allege that there's a cost overrun there. There's no cost overrun because we have not yet spent the $20 million that was budgeted. The project is delayed. I have said that that delay is unacceptable, and I apologize for that. But those delays have been caused by a number of technical issues.
And my Straight Dog family, no cost overrun, beg your pardon. But 2 months later, he promised that it was going to be substantially complete. The works would be completed in a substantial manner last year, December. But that date has passed, my Straight Dog family. 2 months has, 1 month and change rather, has gone. So too the Snake-Brantley has surpassed the budget. The Snake has exceeded. He has busted the budget. And I am sure that divisions are not surprised, because every division ought to know by now that Mark Brantley cannot spend money.
The hospital, in terms of completion date, we didn't give a completion date. I did say that I expected substantial completion by the end of this year. I've said that. I confess that I did not get an update prior to coming here, and I would hope by the next press conference I'll have a full update on where we are in relation to the hospital. Will it be finished within budget? No. We expect that it will go over budget, so we do anticipate that it will go over budget. We're trying to, however, ensure that it doesn't go too far over the original budget, and we are working already with donors to see what we can do in terms of outfitting the hospital.
And over budget is synonymous to cost overrun. even though he said otherwise, my Street Dog family. But the snake, Mark Brantley, he just cannot manage anything. And civil servants must demand that he pays into the Social Security Board all the monies deducted or being deducted from your monthly salary, plus the employer matching contribution, because he has not been paying that, and it's gone into the millions. You remember, my Straight Dog family, as well, how he gloated. Mark Brantley the Snake gloated about July and the CDB money he received. CDB, the Caribbean Development Bank, that is. Money he received for geothermal. But I know Snake Mark Brantley so well, having served with him in the cabinet up close for 5 years. But I was not surprised when Mark Brantley came back and said this to all of us.
Having had US $17 million approved by the Caribbean Development Bank for this project on December 9th, 2022, I had hoped to be able to report today a completion of the production well drilling phase. Unfortunately, the project has again experienced delays due to a funding gap of roughly $20 million and a failure of the initial round of bidding for the production well drilling.
My Straight Dog family, it's over 12 years now. The snake, Mark Brantley, is stumbling around with geothermal development. And I submit, it will be 12 years and more if people in Nevis sticks him for so long. But remember, the required amount for this geothermal development is US $150 million, or EC $400 million. And that will never materialize in the snake Mark Brantley's political lifetime. Take that from Straight Talk, my good family. This talk about one national grid is just a nonsense talk. And it will go on for as long as he's around. They don't understand geothermal development, even the so-called engineer here in St. Kitts. And my third and final observation for tonight, my Straight Talk family, we are still keeping an eye on Director of Public Prosecution, Adley Smith, and what seems to be cherry picking of the law. And if we are correct, then this is contradictory to the principle of equality before the law. And that needs to be repeated tonight. It looks like I said before that DPP Smith is indulging in the sponsorship of injustice, or to put it more clearly, it looks like selective justice from a top judicial officer who should always be independent. After all, it is the Director of Public Prosecution who brings the cases to a judge or a magistrate. And since early December last year, he said the charges were ready. So is the DPP full of chat, as he said that he had already laid down the gauntlet? Those were his words, not mine, my Straight Dog family. He said this:
your DPP stands ready. As soon as you hand over those names, I've already drafted the charges. I've already drafted it. It's just a matter of putting in your name and signing it and the different dates, and so on, and a charge is laid. I've already laid down the gauntlet. It's either you do what you're required to do, or you suffer the inconvenience of having to pay lawyer, inconvenience of going to court, etc. The choice is yours.
Yes, my straight dog family. That's the DPP. He said he had already prepared the charges. So one question, my straight dog family, is why are these charges not laid? Why only for 8 persons when your list is so long, Mr. DPP? Why? We asked you the question. You said in your release that there's a lengthy list. So I'm asking the question for the DPP, or one question for the DPP as well, I should say. Have the chair of the Board of Governors, Sylvester Anthony, and the Chief Executive Officer, Michael Martin, of the Citizenship by Investment Unit, beg your pardon. And when I say the Board of Governors, I mean for the CBI. There's a Board of Governors. Have they already declared their assets and liabilities? Because my interpretation of the list of public officers, which are before you, my straight dog family, as it relates to corporations, they're all listed there. Nothing there says the CBI or CIU, I should say. But my straight dog family, my interpretation is falls, I believe, under 50 subsection C, which says, as you can see to the bottom of your screen, a commission, statutory board, public authority, or other body of any description, whether its members are paid or unpaid. Well, everything is done in secret, but we must believe that the chair and the Board of Governors will be paid. We don't know who are all the members of the Board of Governors, but we know under Joe everybody seemed to be highly paid. So my interpretation of the list of public officials tells me that they both are captured under that section 50C. And my straight dog family, they surely cannot be exempt when they both, meaning the board or the chair of the Board of Governors, Sylvester Anthony, and the CEO of the CIU, Michael Martin, they both play an integral part in the passport trade. They both determine final approvals of projects and certificates of registration that are sent to Dr. Drew for his signature. He's hiding the numbers of CORs that he has already signed. We understand that the numbers are in the thousands. But my straight dog family, this trade in our passports generates billions in revenue for St. Kitts Nevis. The estimate, if I recall, for 2024 is just under $600,000. $600,000, yes, which accounts for about 55 or 56% of the revenue we anticipate we will generate. Non-tax revenue, that is. So my straight dog family, they have to be included. They cannot be exempt from the IPL, the Integrity in Public Life legislation. But we are closely monitoring this story, Mr. DPP, and perhaps you can tell the country whether these two officers and others in the CIU and the CBI controlling the bodies like the Board of Governors if they are subject to the IPL as well. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And as I stated earlier, I have titled my thesis, which I'll move on to without delay, Snake-Brantley and July Glorify Fraud. I stand to be corrected, but I believe that if the snake Mark Brantley or July were convicted of fraud or any criminal offense, for that matter, in a court of law, they both will be disqualified from serving in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis. So too, I believe that Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin, someone gave me that new name a few days ago, but Garth Lucifer Wilkin, who on 3 occasions transgressed the laws of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, Garth Lucifer Wilkin broke the law 3 times. And whether or not the law was strictly enforced, Garth Lucifer Wilkin committed a criminal offense. Garth Lucifer Wilkin stated on record, as a matter of fact, my Straight Talk family, that it is a criminal offense, and this must be repeated each time. He said to the country that it is a criminal offense to spend money from the treasury, the people's money, without the procurement process. Yes, my Straight Talk family, these are his words.
Our Procurement Act requires that there be a competitive bidding process to ensure the government gets value for money, and it makes it a crime to spend money from the treasury without the procurement process being completed.
And that's straightforward, and we understand why. Because the procurement process seeks to ensure that the government gets value, or the best value for money. But having made such a public pronouncement, the head of cabinet in which Garth Lucifer Wilkin sits has broken the law on 2 occasions. Yet Garth Lucifer Wilkin has said and done nothing, absolutely nothing. He has done and said nothing because Garth Lucifer Wilkin himself has a contract on his desk that hands a sweetheart deal to Royal Utilities Limited, contrary to the Procurement and Administration Act, which clearly outlines the process. And this water shortage is a big thing, you know, my Straight Talk family. Because Jew intended to put millions of dollars in the bank account of Cashley Allers. So he decided to buy 1,000 water buckets. They call them tanks. My friends call them water buckets. But only for St. Peter's and Keon, when the whole country has a water shortage issue. But his plan, his devious plan, was to start on a small scale, 1,000. And Terence Michael Drew and Cashley Allers intended then to expand to other areas and become instant millionaires of the people's money. We have common legislation all over the Caribbean. So let us look at Barbados, for example. Firstly, Mayor Motley decides to procure water tanks, not like these buckets they have here. And not for 2 parishes in Barbados, but for the whole island of Barbados. And Barbados is a country that upholds the rule of law. So what? A tender notice is published in Barbados. That tender notice is published, my Straight Talk family. And our legislation is clear. So why is our legislation being flouted, my Straight Talk family? Why is the question we ask? And my Straight Talk family, the Jew cabinet has gone, for example, to procure a desalination plant. And without a request for proposals. And we ask the question, my Straight Talk family, what is the role of the soca engineer from number 3? A bird picked big lice and General Bugner, but the bird almost bit off my ear. So why, my Straight Talk family, why is the question we're asking? Why is, and it is clear, why there is no notice of solicitation which must be published in the local newspapers for at least 6 weeks? Why is there no notice of solicitation or pre-qualification? I was trying to find that for you, my Straight Talk, but I'll bring it up before the program ends tonight. And we asked the question, and like I said, the bird bit me on my ear. Big lice and Bugner. And the bird asked me, are there kickbacks? Are there kickbacks? Almost bit my ear off. But if you think that is bad, my Straight Talk family, let us for a moment examine the CBI. And there was a virtual announcement just over a week ago, my Straight Talk family. A virtual announcement relating to the public benefit option, my Straight Talk family. The public benefit option was launched. And launched with pomp and ceremony, believe it or not, my Straight Talk family. And the public benefit option, they have formally introduced to head that option, or the only one rather approved, is a criminal, a convicted criminal, my Straight Talk family. So we ask the question, what is the motive? There must be some motive. If you are going to hand a convicted fraudster, the only investor, to move that option, there must be a motive. Is someone finding a reason to steal? Has someone a reason to rape the treasury? What is the rationalization? How can we rationalize giving a criminal our CBI program, my Straight Talk family? How can we rationalize that? Someone has determined, no doubt, that it is okay to steal, it is okay to rape the treasury. And it's about opportunity. Someone is given the opportunity to steal or potentially rape the treasury without detection. But my Straight Talk family, motive and rationalization are factors that are beyond the control of management. And these factors are usually a result of outside influences and individual personalities. Opportunity is a one factor, however, that management must or can control. Therefore, focus needs to be on eliminating or reducing the opportunities to commit fraud. But no, hell no. They gave a convicted fraudster control of the public benefit option. And what is the public benefit option, you may ask, my Straight Dog family? And CEO of the Citizenship by Investment Unit explained, my Straight Dog family.
The public benefit option replaces the alternative investment option, or AIO. Under the public benefit option, an approved public benefactor who has submitted an investment proposal to the Board of Governors can become a part of the Citizenship by Investment program by offering public benefit units that would be available as options to individual applicants for citizenship by investment.
And as he said, the public benefit option, PBO, replaced the alternative investment option, AIO. And what is the AIO, or the alternative investment option of St. Kitts Nevis? And that was introduced under the Timothy Harris-led team Unity Administration. The government then introduced a new third investment option to be able to invest capital without debt or existing limits. The objective was to finance projects that were not on the capital expenditure or the infrastructure list of the government. What's more, under what was called the public good project developer option, the investor or investors would complete the project and get a reasonable return on investment without any capital outlay from the government. Afterwards, later, the investor would then turn over the project to the government in the agreement, turned over in a maintained condition. Meanwhile, the projects on the infrastructure list are more available, and the stakeholders can advertise the short-listed schemes. Under the public good project developer, the state will receive ownership after the end of the agreement. And we will recall the correctional facility, as they call the prison. They made a song and dance about the prison or the correctional facility. But the public good developer, as we said, good project developer, after completion and according to an agreement, the state will receive ownership of that facility. But it then derives a question, my Straight Dog family. It then derives this question. But meanwhile, the Snake-Brantley, believe it or not, he said he is proud. The Snake-Brantley said he is proud of that developer or that investor, quote unquote investor. I say that with some caution. The Snake-Brantley said that he is proud of that developer under the public benefit option. I'm trying to find that, my Straight Dog family. He said he is proud. Yes, I found it for you, and I'll get it to you in a few seconds. He said, my Straight Dog family, that he is proud proud of this criminal, my Street Talk family. Would you believe that the snake had this to say, my Street Talk family? Would you believe this? Listen for yourselves, my Street Talk family.
Now, let me switch to something that I'm very proud of. You know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we recognized that Nevis was on its knees. Our main earner, tourism, was shuttered, borders were closed, hotels were closed, and the result was that we needed something to ease the pressure. People were out of work. And so we partnered with an entity called MSR Media. And the plan was a very simple plan. We recognized that they later engaged with St. Kitts, and we nevertheless are proud.
Proud. And what was the plan? He said it was a simple plan. It was simple as this, my Street Talk family.
Mark Brantley, who is the premier of Nevis, wanted to diversify the economy.
Yes, there is a financial arrangement with MSR. I believe the number is $150,000.
We are prepared to do 35 films over the next 5 years. Along with our development, we are finalizing the purchase of a hotel in St. Kitts so that we can have a base to produce and train people in St. Kitts.
Yes, and and as we have spoken before, that you will definitely have our support.
So, he said he went to St. Kitts. He introduced the criminal, the fraudster, to July, Terrence Michael Drew. But the question I ask myself, and I want you to ask as well, my Street Talk family, is how did the snake Mark Brantley and July allow Philippe Martinez, this convicted fraudster, to evade, to skip, to get around, to get away from what should be a rigorous due diligence process, my Street Talk family? And I'm going to spend some time, and I want you to listen carefully to this process, and then we'll ask how the hell this fraudster got around this process.
Is the due diligence that we do on our clients. We have basically 4 levels of due diligence. The first is done by our agents around the world who do a check on the client before they accept the client as a candidate for citizenship. They will do an anti-money laundering check, a terrorism financing check. That's the first level at the agent's point in their country. The second level is when it comes to our local service providers. All files for citizenship must go through a local lawyer or accountant who are registered with our FSRC, our regulatory body, and who will ensure that the service provider is properly regulated and licensed. That service provider also has to do a due diligence on the client, again, to make sure they know the client that they are submitted into the unit. The third level of due diligence would be when the file comes into the unit, the documents are sent to an international due diligence provider. This due diligence company will do open source searches, will find out what's going on in terms of media, but they will also send the information to agents on the ground, wherever that person is located. At that point in time, there will be checks on marriage certificates, on birth certificates, education, employment, salary information. All of this data is provided back to the unit in a report that basically is there to support the integrity of the individual. The fourth level of due diligence is when we submit the files or the information to international law enforcement. International law enforcement, there's a group in the Caribbean that consolidates all of this data, and they will search databases for anti-money laundering, fraud, criminal activity, terrorism financing, terrorism activity. And we will get that information back. At that point, when we have all of these due diligence reports, we will go through a rigorous vetting of the file. And there is a level 1 vetting, there is a level 2 vetting, a level 3, a level 4. Each one of these stages looking at the documents in the file against the reports that we've received from the due diligence sources. We will look for money laundering activity and bank statements. We look for source of income and proof of funds. These are all the rigor that we put around the due diligence and the actual application process to ensure that we maintain the platinum brand, and we only ensure that individuals of high integrity come into our program.
My Straight Talk family, ask yourselves, is Philippe Martinez an individual of high integrity? I took some time so we can all understand the rigorous due diligence process. And we ask, how did Philippe Martinez evade this rigorous due diligence process? Somebody inside there had to get him around. Somebody. Who did? But the country needs to see this agreement, my Straight Talk family. The country needs to see this agreement. Because ask yourselves, how could MSR Media Limited qualify under the public benefit option? As I said before, the correctional facility, the prison as we call it, will be owned by the government whenever it is completed. So will we own the movies? Will we? The PBO, according to Michael Martin, has replaced the alternative investment option. These are his words, my Straight Talk family, not mine. Mikey Martin, the head or the CEO, the head honcho of the CIU, told us this, my Straight Talk family.
The public benefit option replaces the alternative investment option, or AIO. Under the public benefit option, an approved public benefactor who has submitted an investment proposal to the Board of Governors can become a part of the Citizenship by Investment program by offering public benefit units that would be available as options to individual applicants for citizenship by investment.
My Straight Talk family, the country needs to see this agreement. Mark the Snake-Brantley embraced MSR Media Limited. He gave them over $12 million of the people's money, the money that Nevis don't have. Did he ever give Lefco, Shiverton, or Lescott a cent to run their business? But he gave MSR Media Limited US $150,000 a month for 2.5 years to run his business. Then what happened? MSR Media Limited bought OTI. So how did Nevis, or St. Kitts for that matter, how does the country benefit? And these are just a few questions, my Straight Talk family. But we are getting one message, and one message only. And it is important that you tells the country what is in that agreement. Because the message being sent to the country, my Straight Talk family, is that Snake-Brantley and July glorify fraud. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. But before I do, I must always implore you to respect others. And to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. My Straight Dog family. Let's ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 16 past the 9 o'clock hour, let us go straight to the lines, my Straight Dog family. Caller, you live.
Mr. Liburd, good night.
Yes, my dear, good night. How art thou?
How was your weekend?
Very restful, my street.
Okay, I went to church. Only God can judge me. I'm on the land of the living. God, my ride anniversary. Sympathize with the family. I was looking for you, whining and dining. Only a matter of time. Lights and water going up to pay Marriott. Mr. Liburd, what they are doing to people, it's unfair. The former government give people land. If they are saying the lands belong to people, how come they did not claim them before? They wait until they cheat their way in to tell people the land belongs to them. People don't persevere and treasury and holding them up forever for over a year. Now they don't have any idea, no plan. Nothing was doing and still nothing doing. Stop joyride and settle down. The people, them want the land. The own people works with them. And a pastor in the center of them can't tell them they're wrong. Pam, you all see what's going on in mine. They come and say take the vaccine. Stop take the vaccine. Now they're telling you take vaccine for flu. All the vaccines feel alike. If I get back, I come back because I want something to say. And I just can't hear you in no time. I must call. So see you so long.
Thank you very much, my dear. Sounds like Alice in Wonderland. And the lines are open, my Straight Dog family. If you just joined me, we are looking at our thesis for tonight. Snake-Brantley and July glorify fraud. And as we said, let's go back to the lines. In the meantime, I'll get back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Mr. Liburd. Good evening.
Yes, Carl. You have your equipment on there?
Off.
Yes, thank you. Good to hear you, my brother.
Yes, good evening to the listener to home and abroad, California. Mr. Liburd, on water, we've been told several months now that some of the most water has been found in Keon. That was said several times by Dr. Joe. Right? And we were told by the water minister, the man from number 3, that they are ordering, what it is, a pump or something like that.
Carl, why about moving away from the equipment there? So we can get a improved quality in your call. Just listen to the phone. You can hear me on the phone.
Hold on, that's the fan. Is it much better now?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was the fan. Yes, we were told by Dr. Joe that the most water ever being found, probably number 8, is found in Keon. And they told us in a few weeks that will be operating to run Keon, Atlees, Large Molyneux, those areas. And for several months now, we've been told that they are ordering, I think it's a pump, because the pump they have was too small And the question I have to ask, 2 new brand well was found in Shadwell. Many months before that water was found in Kean. Some connection was made from one of the wells to go up into New Road, it seems like, and probably Monkey Hill. But then we were told by the minister from number 3 that one of the wells was found not to be water of drinking sort because there was particles on top of the water and they were going to be working on that water to clear off that and then do some testing and see. Well, what about the other well? Because one of the well was found on the newest road in Shadwell, which lead to the housing project and go into Shadwell Estate. And one of the wells was found on Shadwell Old Force Road. We have not been hearing anything about that.
Well, you know those wells were drilled by Bede. Are you aware of that?
Yes, yes.
One of the well you're referring to, it was found to be arsenic. I think that's the word used. It is the water will poison you. And for almost 4 or 5 years, Bede has not rectified the well. And that's what gave me a lot of caution with what Bede is doing now. I trust and hope they'll have an independent testing of that water in Kean. Because Bede can police itself.
Dr. Duke said the other day on a I think was his press conference, and he said on a talk show too that
quality was good.
They was in the final stage of testing.
Mm-hmm. Not Bede, but Bede can't test it because
no. Dr. Drew said they were in the final stage. They had to do one more test.
Who is testing? Who is testing? Bede is testing the water. Bede can't test the whole water. Exactly. That is the point. Must have an independent
evaluation. That's why I bring up this matter, because a lot of people let that matter slide.
True.
Right, so I have to bring it up because he didn't tell us who did the first 1 or 2 tests and who is doing the final testing now.
Okay. Anything
right, else? And he claimed in a few weeks that area, that water problem in number 8 will be no more.
And we hope and pray. But the quality must be tested independently, not by Bede.
Okay, because they have not finished the testing in Shadwell and this arsenic well here.
Any other point? No, I'm some other calls.
Yes, one more point. On the old road, when Culture asked Dr. Drew on a talk show on the Edge about 2 weeks ago about the old road, because he made a very funny statement. I call it a funny statement, because he said that the previous government takes away the beauty from old road. The Labour government had plans to do the road in Old Road, and they were going to the mountain. Well, those of us who know the mountain of Old Road, that mountain goes right just a little below Concy Mitchum. Anybody know where the former Honorable Constance Mitchum lived there in Old Road? There is a gut above her. And a cemetery, there was a cemetery in front of which is now which Spratnet now is doing a project there. And there is a road below her that goes up by the mountain, and the mountain is below. Now, those who know that area behind here is called Franklands. And there's a lot of land behind here which was owned by one of the late governor, Dr. Sibi. And if people remember and know the history, some of those lands were sold to Social Security to do a housing project. And when they test those land, they said the land was not suitable to host houses. So up to now, nobody tell us what has become of all that money in that failed project, because you have to call that a failed project. Now, the other thing is, there's the railway line behind here. The railway line, the old railway line is right behind there.
Yeah, but quickly, please. Yeah.
And not only that, there is the Frankland land, and there is a gut behind there by the rails that lead down into when you enter Frankland. So I don't see how Dr. Joe could have got you there with any road, because coming down there is house on every side. So where were Labour going to take the old road there behind here? Because lots of the lands behind there are private lands. Just those things are gone. Something for the country and those who are listening and know these stories to think about.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Most I can say that Dr. Joe is a medical doctor, and it was not a medical decision. It was an engineering option applied. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Strater, good evening, Mr. Strater.
How are you, my brother from another mother?
Man, I was sick.
You were sick?
So that's why you have heard from me for the 2 weeks. I went to the hospital. I get up one morning trying to go to work, start eating breakfast, and I cannot eat.
Wow.
So I said, no, I have to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and then I said, no, you can't go to the doctor. I have to go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital, and that's when the whole thing just erupt. So I spent a couple hours there in the hospital, and then they tell me, well, you got to go home, and, we don't know what is wrong with all these things. Mr. Strater, I had so much pain that they have to pull me out of the bed. And I left home without pain, go to the hospital, and all the pain come down on me. But God is good. I'm fighting and everything, and God is doing what He has to do. Mr. Strater, I listened to your program last night because I don't get a chance to listen to it on Thursday night. Mr. Culture, my brother, how are you? Good night. And Texas Queen and Sweet St. Louis, this is you guys' brother on the other end. God bless you guys. Mr. Strater, did you get to check out that lady with those sheep?
I have not. I tried to get some information to her. I thought she would have contacted me. If she's listening, yes,
yes, I really want to know about her. Understand? Yes. I'm interested in her story. And I says, well, I got to call you, let you know what's going on, and try to get in touch with her and hear what she has to say, and let us know what's going on.
Well, that's the idea.
We want to work with you.
I'll give her some assistance if necessary.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. And our Straight Talk family will join you.
Yes.
Understand? You got a good Straight Talk family out here, and they are just waiting for you to say what you have to say.
Yes.
Understand? You are a wonderful young man, and you just got to do what you got to do. Understand?
Yes.
Mr. Strater, can you check out the house for me? I haven't seen it nowhere. Dr. Drew went there some time ago and said that the house is building. They're coming around very, very nice or something like that. And I didn't see it. I put on the TV to see it, and I did get to see it. I don't know. It's coming very. But tell me something. What happened if Drew lose the election? Did the next government, going to take up that issue with those houses? I couldn't believe what I'm hearing, that you're going to only buy the house, you're not going to buy the land. I tell people, if you get in a house, I mean, you're supposed to have a saddle. You can't want a saddle and hat at the same time, but that's another thing. Mr. Strater, I wonder what in the world, how you going to pay for 100,000 for one little apartment? But you know what? Hey, they vote them in, let them clear their own stake. And now they can't even find a way to pound on the stake. Mr. Strater, I just want to tell you that you are doing a wonderful job. My sister with those sheep, get in touch with Straight Talk. Get in touch with him. I will be glad to hear your voice tonight and let us know what's going on. God bless you. Mr. Straight Up, you take care of yourself until I see you when I see you. Be good.
Be good, my dear brother, as well. Let us go straight back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your line.
Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel, good night.
Yes, the Bible man. Good night. How art thou?
I'm fine. I have something in the Bible here talking.
Mm-hmm.
Listen here. Romans chapter 7. Here it says. Here it says here. Now, my brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, and how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman with having a husband is bound by the law to her husband, so that as long as she liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. So then, if while her husband is liveth, and she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband is dead, she is loosened from the law. Now, Mr. Patrick, I only read these two passages of scripture. I ain't going nowhere because I only have a minute limit of time and my time soon up. Nowhere you want to say here, Mr. Patrick. The word of God says, if you're married, let's say that a Bible man. If the Bible man married to an woman, and one day the Bible man get up, because the Bible man has lived about 3 years, and he gets up, he gets fed up by the woman, and he got married to another woman. I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Patrick. When me married to the woman and carry the woman in my house and live here, who know what me do? Me call myself an adulteress.
Okay.
And the woman that me married second is my girlfriend.
Okay. Got you.
And if you don't really believe what I'm saying, read Romans chapter 7, and he will tell you.
Okay, my brother, got you.
And so, Mr. Patel,
yes,
people must understand when you married to somebody the second time, and your girlfriend you got in your house, and the next thing I'll tell you, last thing I can say now.
Please, yes. Yeah.
I will put one man. So you look like you want a next week.
Okay.
That is, I want to say something else, but there is no other time there.
Yes.
Next time for that.
Thank you.
So, all I'm saying, Mr. Patrick, give thanks unto the Lord for his good,
Mercies and
for his mercy endured forever.
Thank you.
He said, let the Redeemer of the Lord say so.
Thank you.
And so, Mr. Patrick, people must carry the word of God and not do their own thing. Patrick, good night. Bye.
Good night, my brother. Let's keep our eyes on the time. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Time, caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Are you there, caller? You're listening to the.
Thank you, Patches. Good night.
Yes,
good night to each and everyone who is listening. I have a lesson, a word of advice to the ministers of government. I'm going to touch on the tourism sector. Person who is responsible for the tourism, who has the portfolio. I had a look at the tape since the cruise ship came into St. Kitts, and it was disappointing to the taxi drivers, and for them to be ranting and getting on of disappointment. It seemed like the minister didn't do a good job, because everyone was excited for the icon to come in. But what did the icon offer the people who was depending on to make a penny? Is it bad proactiveness to sell the product so that the taxi drivers could have get a piece of what the cruise ship brought into St. Kitts? Or it was just a photo op, according to what I've heard? I'm going based on what I've heard and what I saw. And the minister who is responsible for that sector, they have to learn to be proactive, to sell the product, not just for one, favor one set, but you got to favor all, because it's a trickle down. Okay? Guys got to be more proactive to sell every cruise ship, bring tourists into St. Kitts so that everyone can have a piece of that pie. And from what I understand, it did not work out. Another thing, I'm going to branch off to another thing. Are the ministers still making promises and fulfilling? You got to stop fooling the people and make a sound judgment for the people. People are not fools. And stop taking people for fools, or else shut up. Or resign. That's not nice. Taxi drivers, I feel your pain. I'm rooting for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. This email reads, Mr. Ambassador, sir, greetings. Last week I recognize. Let me just take this call and come back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, just turn the equipment down, could you?
Hello, good night.
Yeah, just turn the equipment down and move away from the equipment or something.
Yeah, I'm move away. Good night.
Good night, madam.
Me's the lady with the animal and the sheep with the fire.
Yes, I thought you would have contacted me. Yeah.
Beckham?
Yeah, I thought you would have contacted me so I could see if we could get some. What's the position with your situation?
Well, not the same. And the 144 sheep, the bonnet.
Yeah.
I went to the fire station for a report Saturday, and they told me that when they get the call about the fire and they go there, nobody didn't tell them about animal there in the pen. And it's denies, the supervisor for the fire station is denies here. So when he go and he opened the pen, some sheep run out the pen. And they just fall down there, and he begged them to some water on them, and they catch themselves and they turn off. After they get the fire cool down, He said he went in the pen. And when he went in, he found 77 sheep in there dead. Then later in the day, he come back up. And he went there. And when he went, he surprised to see the amount of sheep in there died. He ain't so much sheep was in there. And up to now, nobody come to me. Nobody at all. Come to me, nobody at all. You understand? 144 sheep. And they left back 22. And the 22, if you see the state of the 22, one of them down there now look like you can't see. One of the sheep then look like you can't see. You understand? And nobody come to me. Up to that, somebody asked me yesterday, if Dr. Joe come to me? Stop today, somebody asked me if Dr. Joe come. I said, well, Dr. Joe ain't going to come because Dr. Joe no. So are you back in? And then somebody asked me so again yesterday. And I tell the person the same thing. He ain't going to come because he no. So are you back in? So up to now, nobody come to me. Nobody come to me to talk to me about the sheep. So it seems to be like that going on with you. You understand?
Okay. Well, I'll see what assistance we can get from the Street Talk family. So I've noted your number, so I'll see what assistance we can find from
if I could have sent, if I could have the fire sent to you, I would have glad to send it to you that you could see. And people around were bothering me patches, were really bothering me too. People around they see the fire and they got me number because when the sheep, they may make it to lock up all the sheep, they just call me and tell me some of the sheep out. When I got there Thursday morning, the lady tell me, Jean, I couldn't call you because when I come out, the amount of fire was there. Even if they call you, you couldn't get on the sheep safe. The fire truck come after. And they get some of the sheep and save. Later in the day, she turned to me and she told me, she couldn't call me because I was suffering with asthma and she didn't want me to be smoke. I was suffering with asthma, but my boyfriend here and my son here. So she could have called and then we got the key. Nobody would have to knock off. They got the key, so I lock the sheep. They would have said, if she didn't call us. You understand?
Okay.
When I down the market down there Saturday, a couple of people come here and they were talking. What was that to come on here? Because one of them say, when they go help choke the sheep, some of them lamb coming out their belly, how they burn up. And that run to me. It run to me a lot. Put 144 sheep gone on the jail for nothing. If they the thief about a 10 and sell them, I would have seen but they take money in the pocket. They got something to eat. The sheep they gone on the jail. And it seems to me, they ain't gonna get out of that because nobody come to me up to now. So, they know that one year walk on Mr. Patches. They know that one year walk on. One year time.
Okay, well, like I said, I can't be definitive or anything, but I can see what we can do amongst us as a Street Talk family, okay?
Yes, Mr. Patches.
Yeah, but thanks for calling us now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, then. Have a good night.
You too, my dear. Thanks a lot. Yes.
Okay.
Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, am I caller?
Yes, you're live, sir.
Patches, a very good night to you.
A good night to you.
I have, in case you don't recognize Patches, my name is Anthony Ross. I've been following your program, and it seems as though, Patches, that we almost have to go back to first principles and ask whether or not this is a government of the people or a people owned by the government. And I'm not looking at any one particular government at this time. I am looking at the fact that we've spoken from time to time about transparency in government. We've spoken about accountability. We've spoken about technology transfer. We've spoken about capacity building. We looked at privatization. We looked at problems with water, problems with housing, land use management, this thing called CBI and ask ourselves, how is it going to stop? I used an analogy the other day. I suggested to some people that not peculiar to the Federation. It could be the Caribbean. It could be a little further afield. But it is almost like getting onto that scenic railway. You leave up by the airport. You go east and come right around to Newton Ground. And then you come back along that same route. Just think of the travel taking 4 years or whatever it is between election and election. You've got the train that's going, and all of those who get elected are on the train, and all they're fighting about is who is in the front and who is in the rear. And the people of St. Kitts are the ones on the side, outside the tracks, who say they are hoping to get a couple of crumbs thrown out to them from time to time. I look at that, and then I look at this thing. I do not want to get onto that thing with MSR because I am sufficiently connected that it could cause some pain. But I look at OTI, and I ask, where is the money going to come from to pay for OTI? The answer is simple: the shares that were given. Suppose 10 people from St. Kitts had decided they wanted to get together and they wanted to get those same shares and they wanted to sell those same shares, nothing out of their pocket, and they wanted to do something useful with OTI for the country. Don't you think that it would be a much better move than this constant effort of finding out how best we can be selling back the little bit of land that we have called St. Kitts primarily, and Nevis also, to those from whom we were able to get it just over 50 years ago? I await your comments, Patrick. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, though, while you're here?
Please do.
The CIU CEO said the public benefit option replaced the alternative investment option, right? And I did say the public benefit option should, as it says, benefit the public, right? So, are you saying if the OTI was monies raised to pay for the OTI under the PBO, then that, just like the correctional facility, which will be handed over to the government, then the OTI should be owned by the people?
I say it could have been.
Could have been.
We are involved in a situation where it was owned by a particular company here. They're not going to give it up and say, look, I'm going to give it up out of the goodness of my heart. They're going to give it up in exchange for something. But I am saying that it could have been done with more local involvement. And this thing about whether it's the public benefit option or all of those, look, what it is a can of beans. And regardless of what you change as far as the label is concerned, unless you go inside and change what's in the can, you're getting the same garbage. Okay? This public option 1, public option 2, how are they different? I listen and I hear some people who should know better saying, oh, it's not going to cost us anything. It's not going to cost us anything. Well, why not get 10 instead of just 1? Why not get 10 prisons? And I'm not going to stay away from the prison because I'm too closely connected to some things also. But what I'm saying is that this whole thing about the citizenship by investment, it has has spun out of control. I'm not saying shut it down, and I'm going to tell you why. Those people back in the 1980s will tell you that one of the provinces in Canada had the same idea. And then it went across the country, only that it was managed very, very differently. We allowed circumstances to take over, and the system was terribly abused. And this government that is in claim they're going to come in, they're going to stop the abuse, they're going to stop whatever. It's almost like trying to keep water uphill with a rake. It's theoretically possible, but in actual fact, it's extremely difficult.
But just to be clear, King's Counsel, the category I'm still referring to under the public benefit option, right, which is the public good project developer, right, where the state will receive ownership after the end of the agreement, but we don't know what the agreement contains.
Well,
just
Patches,
like I said,
Patches,
yes, sir.
Patches, go back and look at the document that I sent you on Triple P. I mean, it is just a financing package.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm sorry to interrupt again, but like I'm saying, that's so. So if the OTI is being raised or being paid for under the public good project by a public good project developer, then the state should receive ownership eventually for the OTI or any project under the PBO. Is that so?
Well, it depends. It is no. I can't say that. It depends on how it's structured. My view is that it could have been structured that way, but it wasn't.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen the agreement myself, so probably you know much more than I. But,
that's another thing. That's another thing. If it is a public good arrangement supported by a public good document, why can't the public get look at what is being so good for them?
Good point.
Or is it that some people are going to sell there? I say, I'm going to impose this upon you. I'm going to impose a public benefit on you, whether you like it or not. You're not going to hear anything about it. And it is like bad medicine. Shut your eyes, hold your nose, and open your mouth. And that's what's happening. But the other thing is, Patches, you go on about the water. The truth is, Patches, that you know, and I know, all about a lot of the circumstances with the water. I refuse to even call them the problems with the water. Because whatever it is, there's a clear and proven engineering solution, and it is not new. You are going to get water from precipitation stat, evaporation in the ocean, blow over land, condensation. It gets heavy enough, it falls down, precipitation. Some of it is going to be coming off as surface water. The rest are going to go into and is there as groundwater. You discount a certain amount for evaporation. And that is going to be your water supply source.
Okay.
Next thing you're looking at is your population. Because if you had no population, it doesn't matter whether you have water or not. You're looking at demand for that water. And it's a matter of what you've got and what's the demand and how you supplement it.
Yep.
And even as far as the desalinization plants are concerned, it's almost like, look, I don't want to be trite about it. But what is the difference between buying a cell phone, buying a computer, or buying a desalinization plant? Okay, you go out and you get it. It has a certain utility. There's a capital cost. And then you get involved in capital cost recovery. You put together a plan where the government can recognize that because it's such a utility that it can be subsidized for the overall public good. But to go ahead and carve these things off and here, in 2024, you're saying that we can't be involved in our own water supply system? It is just not right. And it goes against all of these ideas of transfer of technology, capacity building, and even privatization. You know, we can do better, but we will not do better until such time as the people, not the politicians. And again, I will underline, I am not picking any particular political group. I'm saying that the people have got to make the change. The other day I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we were driving, and he was telling me about the same thing. I said, look, it's like out in the savannah. The lions will continue to be the bullies until the hyenas get hungry enough. Okay? And when the people have decided that they had enough, you know, I mean, just think about all you heard during coming up to the last election. This thing is bad. That thing is bad. The prison is a bad idea. This is bad. This is bad. You go right in, and from the time you get in, you realize, guess what?
That's good.
They're not so bad after all. Okay?
Okay, my brother. Thanks a lot for your contribution. Good to hear you.
Thank you. All the best. Bye. Bye.
Same to you as well. Very good intervention. Mr. Ambassador, sir, greetings. Reads this email. Last week, I recognized the voice of one Miss Willa Liburd, a former distinguished diplomat like you, Patches, and myself, on a radio program dubbed The Edge. She was given kudos, glory, and fame to Minister Marshall for bringing the largest tourist ship here. Well, I cannot fully endorse what my good friend Lady Wheeler said, as we all are aware that Marshall has a propensity of plagiarizing and luxuriating in grand, successful hard work in tourism. Therefore, I am very dubious and skeptical in believing that she was the catalyst for having the ship here. Anyhow, Mr. Liburd, my next observation with Wheeler's statement is that she, I suppose, inadvertently stopped short of showering similar praises on you for the construction of the new pier that enabled the facilitation of the icon of the seas. You see, many of us are quick to sit around the table to eat and gobble up the food, and never stop to thank the Lord, beg your pardon, for the stove or fireplace and the cook themselves that enable the cooking of the food. Mr. Liburd, you are an indomitable character. Keep the faith. God bless the work you're doing on Street Talk. Reads that email. Let's go to the lines and then thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, man. Mr. Patches, man. Thanks a lot, man. Good evening, man.
How are you, my brother? Good evening.
Yeah, pretty good, man. Yeah, you know, thanks for that last caller there, man.
Yep. Yes.
He made some great comments, and you know, he put that thing really forward, really good, man.
Yep.
We just gotta listen to guys like him, and you know, pick sense out of nonsense, man. The MSR media thing, you know, after listening to some of these statements and stuff, it doesn't really sound good to me, man.
Not at all.
I know you put up some situations on the screens over all these times I've been listening to you, and you said MSR came in the red.
Oh yeah.
And you know they gone out red. They gone out in the green.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
You know, it's amazing to see a company like that came in during COVID. They got their lodging and their expenses paid. Yeah, we would say 150,000 EC or US.
US per month. US dollar.
So, you know, when I first thought it was EC, now it's jumped to US.
It is US.
Wow.
Brantley said that himself.
Per month. Yeah, I've been listening.
Okay.
Per month. They got their lodging paid at the best hotel. I don't know if it's the best hotel in the Federation, but Four Seasons is tops, man. I know it's the best hotel in Nevis, period, for sure.
Caviar,
you know,
and champagne and steak.
Yeah, all that good stuff, man. Only the elite can stay there.
Yep.
You know, a local man can't even spend a night in Four Seasons. That might be more than his monthly check. You know what I mean? And then to see the arrangement that was made. I think they were like a 70-30 arrangement. That's something you may have to bring forward again, that the people hear that. But I've heard along the lines that it was a 70-30 arrangement. And you know who 70 gone to? 70 gone to the MSR people. And they got all the expenses paid while they was down, and they built up themselves and were able to capture a whole hotel in St. Kitts. And now the hotel is locked up, not being productive. You know what I mean? Ain't no local persons on the ground there making money off of that hotel. To say that at least they're like a housekeeper or a maid or a cook or something there. That hotel, the locks ain't got broken off of that hotel yet, man, for the new year.
Not to my knowledge, my brother.
I mean, come on, man. It sounds like the people. I mean, all the technical terms you was having with that caller, man, back and forth. We just need to break it down to the average person. The man came in broke. They made a lot of money, bought a hotel. They got the hotel locked up, and the man roll out, and the man doing what they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That hotel should have been offered up to the local people to own that. You know what I mean? They have local people or entities that could invest the money and buy that hotel. Who's on the ground there, man? One caller on a show before some months back, he said that all the hotels on the ground, most of them, they're owned by foreigners. It ain't nobody locally own none of these hotels. So when they have events like music festival and all those big events, the money is going back to the outsiders, believe it or not. It ain't got nobody locally who own none of these hotels in the islands, as far as I could tell, man. So when they have them big events, music festival, for instance, they said that festival was started to put people in beds and, for them to generate money for the economy. But who own the hotels them that most of the money is going into? The foreigners, the rich foreigners. You know what I mean? Objectives are changing, man. Situations are changing. According to my colleague there in New York, Mr. Welcome, he commented on the cruise situation. The cruise industry is changing as well. My colleague said he saw a tape, but I saw a clip. I saw a clip of a minister in Anguilla who is trying to indicate to the government there that they should not keep all their eggs in one basket. They should diversify. She has stated on a clip that I've seen that she's very concerned about the tourist product. You know what I mean? Because the tourist product is changing, man.
Okay.
And so the local taxi drivers on the ground in St. Kitts and Nevis, they might have to change and they might have to adapt. Because sooner or later, they man ain't going to be making no money from tourism.
Okay.
The cruise ships, they're going to be coming to the Caribbean, and the man going to be sucking up the sun, not coming aboard ashore, not coming ashore, or a few of them will be coming ashore, and they're not going to be spending the money that what they used to spend in the past. So the government got to take note of this, what's happening, and they got to diversify, man. The youths them need more jobs. They need more options on the ground. A lot of these ministers, man, they're just getting photo ops, man. They're not really concerned about the people like that.
Okay.
We ain't this new government created no new jobs yet. We just fighting over the CBI money and such, man. It's too much infighting. The politicians them just fighting over the money, bro.
Okay.
A lot of tribalism going on about that money. Because I know, man, since that CBI started, St. Kitts and Nevis supposed to be in tip-top shape, bro.
Okay, my brother.
The man collected billions and billions over the years. And the average man on the ground is not seeing this. They're not looking at that.
Okay, got you.
The youth them going to keep killing themselves if they don't have job opportunities, man.
Okay.
And we need to know the unemployment figure.
Okay.
Nobody is saying that. It's too much guns in the Caribbean right about now, man.
Okay,
so we know these murders are going to continue. Mexico has sued the gun manufacturers in America, and I would want to see the West Caribbean islands jump on board with Mexico to strengthen up that thing.
Okay, my brother.
But thanks a lot, man. Have a good night, man. I got a lot to say, like usual, but I'm going to keep it there, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my brother. Never out of words, but always like your interventions. We go back to the lines, and I want to thank this caller for holding call of your life. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
How are you, my brother? How art thou?
Not bad at all. And you, I suppose?
I am peaceful. I am peaceful.
Well, keep it that way. Yep. Don't go to war with anybody, please.
Not at all. Not at all.
Anyhow, quickly. I was listening to a program recently on a local radio station. And there was an official from the Public Works Department talking about the St. Peter's Road. I think this road is supposed to run from just about just above the Moravian Church right up to Ojigot. I think you know about that, right?
Yes, I heard of it.
Yeah. And this individual is saying that this road is expected to cost something like $31 million, which to me seems so 4 miles of road costing $31 million. And I remember you built a road, put in sidewalks, changed a lot of water piping under the road and that kind of thing. And the road that you resurfaced was something like 32 miles. Right. And I believe it was about $70 million or something so.
69. Yeah.
Yeah. What did the island main road cost to resurface?
$69 million. Well, if you exclude...
Right, okay. Yeah. So I thief in $1 million for myself then. Since everybody thieving money, I might as well thief $1 million. But something is wrong. You cannot tell me that 4 miles of road is going to cost $31 million. What is this road being built out of? Is it being built out of platinum or something of the sort?
The original budget was, I'm sorry to interrupt you, the original budget was $50 million, wasn't it? I thought I saw that.
I don't know, but I would like you to do some investigation into this to find out, well, that would be the most expensive piece of road in the Federation, by far, maybe the Caribbean, or the Western Hemisphere for that matter. Because if at that rate, 32 miles of road, 4 into that is 8. 31 times 8 would be $248 million. That is what your road should have cost to go on the island. And think about it. You say maths is one of your strongest weak points. By comparison.
You give me some homework to do, yes. So
something is wrong there, man. Yeah. So please investigate that, because there's some kind of bubbles going on with that road. Some thiefiness, some scambishness, something going on, because I don't see it being any different to resurfacing of the island main road. I don't know what they're putting in it. It can't be asphalt they're putting on. Because if it's been, even concrete can't cost that kind of money. So it got to be platinum or gold or something of this sort they're putting on there for us to drive on. But have a good night, and please tell me when you find out what it is they're doing to cost so much for 4 miles of road. Okay, my boy?
Yes. Well
yes.
Well spoken, my dear brother.
Sleep well. Right.
Likewise, my brother. Let's go back to the lines. I want to thank this caller for holding call of your life.
Yeah. Good evening, Ian Pattis.
How are you, my brother? We almost got shut out. Oh, my God.
Well, you know, I've been listening even before you started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like all the callers to straight talk.
Yes.
Good evening. Go to straight talk, and everybody who's looking, watching, and listening. Dear Patrick, I would like all who does calling to straight talk. This ain't a time to stray away from the topic. If you're going to stray away from the topic, let it be an issue about the country. Because that is all I'm concerned about. Make sure the country is going right. And so I will always talk about issues of the country, not nigger business. Now, Patches, what Gene just said in my partner, I heard it today too. And I said, how is that, boy? Well, that is so obvious that even who ain't watching could see. That is what you call fooling up long pocket. How in the world
32 miles of road could cost more than, 4 miles of road could cost more than 32 miles of road. And they're talking about transparency and integrity. Oh my, and good governance. Well, I want to know if Mr. Critic ain't know about that, for him to talk about that. When he come talking about a good-looking horse don't get out the stable, and he hope the good-looking horse don't come ugly or something like that. But you see, like the Bible say, there is not a just man upon this earth that do it good and sin it not. All we got sin. We born in it and we sin. But we supposed to add every time we remember it. Now let's go to the snake. The Judas snake. All the time when he was a part of the Unity family administration, he was disrespecting the leaders every minute, saying a recitation about free share. But now that he right in the middle of the bed with the Labour Party, in the middle now, he ain't got to go knock on the door and tell him he come with free share. That is the time now he's supposed to be talking about free share. But it seems like he's whispering in the ear of July about free share, that he don't want the listening public to hear that he's still asking for free share. Well, he has Nevis social security problem up there to straighten out, and the hospital to continue to bring it to conclusion. So that is the time now he's supposed to go and ask for his fair share. But Patches, no, he's supposed to officially cross over the floor in Parliament, because that's where he is. He's not representing the opposition. He's supposed to stand up for the other two persons and the opposition, but he's not doing it. But he's only in St. Christopher. A lot of things could get away with. But we're going to come to our senses one of these days. Now let me say something about the lady, the shepherd lady of Mount Kill with the sheep. Miss Lady, try get me number from Patches and get in touch with me, and I'm going to lead you to the source who will come to St. Kitts and represent you for cruelty to animal. You tell you one sheep, they throw a stone and break your foot and you're dead. It's deliberate, malicious job was done to those animals. And I'm telling you this, the people, the organization, they will come here and you will get justice for your sheep. Well, Patches, we all are almost out and you start late, so let me get out of the way and let somebody else get to do.
Thank you.
Brother Straight Talk, I'm glad you're feeling good. Thank you very much, Patches.
Thank you for your intervention as well. I wonder if the journalist, Mr. Andre Hui, reads this email, has already apologized to the Premier Mark Brantley for the upsetting question he gave Miss Ike Hewlett to ask Mark at his last press conference. The question was very simple, relevant, timely, and appropriately asked. To paraphrase the question, Mr. Premier, the people want to know why you are so weak as the opposition leader and do not oppose anything that the government propose. Well, who tell Hui do that? Mark got so irritated and cursed off Mr. Huey to the extreme, virtually calling him a stupid man to ask him such a question. He said Huey should have known better than to ask such a question in public, when he could have answered the question for Mark and tell the people that he don't criticize just for criticism's sake. He's working with the government for the betterment of St. Kitts and Nevis. What a stupid, nonsensical, foolish, and a rubbish answer Mark gave. Mr. Huey, I know you are sorry now, because most of us know that you are a very panicking journalist and absolutely afraid to ask the two governments hard questions. That is why I want to know if you done beg Mark Brantley pardon, reads this email. Every time Mark holds his monthly press conference, he fool off the visions with a bag of lies, using his fine, sweet talks of deception to cover up his worthless deeds. But nothing lasts, and one day you will surely pay. You are a very despicable, crooked, and dangerous man, you, Mark Brantley, reads this email. The JNF General Hospital is in a health crisis, and seemingly neither the Minister of Health nor his paid $10,000 per month political health advisor has given up in making the situation better. The health advisor, instead of being at the hospital and doing some work for the fat, heavy salary he's getting, instead of on the radio every Friday afternoon showing off his glad, boasting self, praising the government for everything they do, good or bad, just for him to sustain his salary. When civil servants see what this man is doing, they would follow suit, take 3 hours lunch, come to work anytime and go home anytime they please. With this other email. We went through slavery and it was remorseful nonetheless. We came out of that, but unfortunately not fully. Our forefathers fought so hard for freedom, for our young men to kill each other, for our adults to go through school and still cannot read. They fought for the injustices we are facing now. The young woman to have no self-esteem, for families to have lack of love and care, all of what our forefathers and foremothers fought for are still in vain, beg your pardon. You have to wonder how this Jew Labour government care for its citizens. I would like someone to tell me because I'm not seeing it. Not one of them remorseful, not one of them angry at what is going on in this Twin Island Federation. He fooled the people, and those overseas voters are to be blamed also. They don't live here to feel our pain. They don't feel that heat we are feeling. These murders soon put us on the blacklist, once again under the Labour government. There is not much to expect for our children's future, while the overseas voters don't have this to worry about. They're gone to bed peacefully while we sleep on thorns, reads this other email. Patches, I would like to understand why St. Kitts collecting millions from the CBI program. Why up to this day nothing is said about the St. Kitts Nevis Bridge, around the Island Highway, the new RLB terminal and the Bastia waterfront development. Where is all this millions of dollars? Where is it going? St. Kitts should have been looking much more developed with all that millions of US dollars from that CBI. Something is wrong to me. Please, Patches, help us to understand this one. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. Work started on the house belonging to Cashley. I wonder if some of the drinking cup money is used to finish that project up at Juaz. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. I really don't know how this government will end up, but I hope they know that they can't come back to us for a second term. Patches, they are the most corrupt and unethical set of imposters calling themselves government. They are involved in all kinds of conflicts of interest and underhand deals and think that we the people are foolish and don't know what's going on. I don't know if their supporters are impressed, but most of us can't wait to get rid of them. I have never seen so much victimization and incompetence in any one government. Patches, Labour is not settled and they got to go. Reads that email. And that's where the emails we have tonight. We are going to wrap tonight's programming because we are just out of time. I've given you back your time, beg your pardon. I still would squeeze in one last call if that caller would be guided by brevity. But for those who may have joined us late tonight, and I want to thank you nonetheless, but just to inform you that our thesis we examined tonight, we looked at the Snake-Brantley and July glorifying fraud. And as we wrap tonight's programming, my Straight Talk family, we advance the view that, and it is my opinion, and I stand to be corrected, but my Straight Talk family, I believe that if the Snake-Brantley or July were convicted of fraud, as I said, or any criminal offense in a court of law, they both will be disqualified from serving in the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis. So too I believe that A.G. Garth Lucien Wilkin, who on 3 occasions broke the law, and whether or not the law was strictly enforced, Garth Lucien Wilkin committed a criminal offense. But he continues to turn his head the other way when our procurement and administration legislation is perpetually violated. Dr. Drew signs a contract, no procurement. No procurement, having spent $8 million on the Robert Llewellyn Bratcher Museum. $5.8 million he handed to Cash Dialas for 1,000 tanks. And some people have not got their tanks as yet, or their buckets as they call them. That equates to $5,800 per bucket. Now they've moved to desalination. They have completed a contract with Royal Utilities Limited and no request for proposals. What is the cost of that contract? Why are they ignoring the legislation? These are the issues that we have discussed tonight. My Straight Talk family, a burning issue, it's the CBI. And the Jew administration has formally introduced a criminal face into the citizenship by investment passport trade. So what is the motive? Is someone finding a reason to rape the treasury? What is the rationale to appoint a criminal to a program? Is someone determined that it's okay to steal or rape the treasury? The opportunity has come for someone to rape the treasury without detection. Is that the plan? Motive and rationalization are factors that are beyond the control of management. But these factors are usually a result of outside influences and individual personalities. Opportunity is one factor that needs focus. Focus needs to be on eliminating or reducing the opportunities to commit fraud. So how can they give a convicted fraudster control of our CBI public benefit option? What is the public benefit option we looked at tonight, my Straight Talk family? It is this.
The public benefit option replaces the alternative investment option, or AIO. Under the public benefit option, an approved public benefactor who has submitted an investment proposal to the Board of Governors can become a part of the Citizenship by Investment program by offering public benefit units that would be available as options to individual applicants for citizenship by investment.
And that was granted to a criminal, a convicted fraudster. The PBO replaced the alternative investment option What was the alternative investment option? It was a new third investment option introduced where one was able to invest capital without more debt or existing limits. The objective was to finance projects that were not on the capital expenditure or infrastructure list of the government. What's more, under what was called the public good project developer option, the investor would complete the project, obviously get some return on their investment without any capital outlay from the government. The investor would then turn over the project to the government in the agreement, turn over, of course, in a maintained condition. So what is this agreement with the PBO handed to this criminal and fraudster Martinez? What is it, my Street Dog family? But the snake Mark Brantley said he's proud. He said he's proud of Philip Martinez. These were his words, my Straight Dog family, not mine. The snake Mark Brantley said this.
Now, let me switch to something that I'm very proud of. You know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we recognized that Nevis was on its knees. Our main earner, tourism, was shuttered, borders were closed, hotels were closed, and the result was that we needed something to ease the pressure. People were out of work. And so we partnered with an entity called MSR Media. And the plan was a very simple plan. We recognized that they later engaged with St. Kitts, and we nevertheless are proud.
Proud to accept a criminal who was declared a persona non grata, not welcome in Barbados. He couldn't see Mayor Motley or anyone in her cabinet. But he found a home in Nevis and was given $150,000 every month for 2.5 years. But the country needs to see this agreement that has qualified MSR Media Limited under the public benefit option. The prison will be owned by the government when it's completed. Will we own the movies, the films? Mark embraced MSR, he said, gave them over $12 million. What has he given to any one business venture in Nevis? What has he given to Lefco? What has he given to Shiverton or Lescott? Not a cent he has given them to run their businesses. But he gave MSR Media Limited $400,000 and more a month for 2.5 years. Then what? They bought OTI. So how does the country benefit? But we are getting one message, and one message only, my Straight Talk family. And until we see that agreement with the convicted fraudster Philippe Martinez, the message being sent to the country, are there any kickbacks? The message is being sent to the country. Snake-Brantley and July, they glorify fraud. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I'm not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the listeners, the many listeners. I want to thank you, the callers, my Straight Dog family. And I want to thank you, the emailers. And just to remind you that you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you just got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Thursday.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren